A Navy midshipman from our area is now facing a court-martial in a high-profile sexual misconduct case.
Eric Graham was one of 3 midshipmen who was initially accused. The accuser in the case is a fellow midshipman who says the men took advantage of her after she says she blacked out during an alcohol-fueled party last year.
Local 15's Derek Rose has been tracking the case for us. Derek, today's development has basically 2 Navy officials pitted against one another.
It does, Greg. After a military hearing last month, the equivalent of a civilian grand jury and preliminary hearing, it was up to an investigating officer to recommend whether or not the case should move forward. That investigating officer said no, but today his recommendation was outranked. The decision comes from the highest office at the Naval Academy, Superintendent and Vice Admiral Michael Miller, and it comes at a time when Washington is demanding a tougher stance on military sexual crimes.
There's no question that it is a result of the political climate.
Chip Harrington represents Eric Graham, an 8 Mile native and former Blunt football standout, charged with abusive sexual contact, although the accuser admittedly remembers little from that night in 2012, a night flooded in alcohol.
The evidence was that she went from the front seat of a car to the back seat of a car and initiated oral sex with Eric Graham, and he is accused of not stopping her.
At a hearing last month, the accuser, who's also a midshipman, told the court she had only heard about the sexual encounters after the fact from friends and social media. She initially chose not to press charges and was caught on tape asking one defendant not to cooperate with the investigation.
I need you to say that nothing happened. And I hate to ask you to lie, but I don't want this to go anywhere.
Investigating Officer Commander Robert Monahan recommended the entire case be dismissed.
An enormous amount of resources and time was devoted to getting to the truth. We think that the investigating officer actually got to the truth.
But for Harrington and his client, it's a version they will have to present again at court-martial. And Midshipman Joshua Tate is the other midshipman accused in the case. He's accused of aggravated sexual assault. Both he and Graham are both accused of lying to investigators. That third midshipman who was initially charged, Travis Bush, he had a previous romantic relationship with the accuser, but he will not stand trial. No date has been set for the court-martial, Kim.